Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Womb Healing 101. Today, we are going to talk about cyclical living. This is something I've spoken about quite a lot. You can actually listen to episode 4 of my podcast, all on cyclical living and how to implement it into your life. But basically, cyclical living is about living in harmony with your menstrual cycle. Growing up in a patriarchal society means that we've grown up in a society that values the male energetic rhythm and devalues the feminine energetic rhythm. This means that our entire society, our 9-to-5 workday, is based on the rise and fall of daily testosterone, the rise of the sun, the fall of the sun, the rise of day into night, right? But us as women, we operate with the moon cycle, 28 to 35 day cycle. This means that every single day for 28 to 35 days, we are a different woman. Every single day we have different combinations and levels of hormones flowing throughout our body. The first half of the cycle is estrogen dominant, and the second half of the cycle is more progesterone dominant. This means that the first half of the cycle is very much about your external expression, your connection with the world outside of you, being productive. It is more a yang, masculine, outward focused energy, doing, creating, manifesting, projecting your energy outwards and working with the external world to create. Whereas the second half of the cycle is more a yin focused energy, an internal, an introspective, a feminine focused energy. This means that we are working to create with our internal world, okay? They say that progesterone is the hormone of the priestess because it allows us to come into deeper connection with ourselves, allows us to drop in, cut out the outside world, out of the rational mind, into the feeling body, connecting deeper with our subconscious, connecting deeper with the darkness, mystery, the flowing fluid currents below the surface. And so we have this beautiful harmony between the more yang first half of the cycle and the more yin second half of the cycle. The first half of the cycle is broken down into 2 phases, follicular and ovulation, and the second half of the cycle is broken down into luteal and the menstrual cycle, right? So we have the menstruation being the beginning of the cycle. Your first day of your bleed is day 1 of your new cycle, okay? And so many women are not actually living in harmony with their cycle because they don't understand that this is not just a spiritual style way of living, but this is a biological connection that we can have to deepen our relationship with ourselves. Our body as a feminine woman is literally giving us this beautiful opportunity to flow and ebb and move and change throughout the cycle, moving along those waves of self, of expression, of pleasure, of nuance, right? The cycle is such a nuanced part of being a woman, and every single woman's experience of each phase is also going to be different and nuanced and based on her personal context, okay? So we can look at a few similar surface level traits, such as in the follicular phase, which is spring, we are more likely to be planning and organizing and getting projects together, and really in that initial phase of project development, it is the best time for being mentally focused and creative and setting goals, right? Then we go into ovulation, which is the peak energy level of the cycle. You will be your most productive during this time, a lot of energy, a lot of ability to socialize and connect and be externally focused and be productive. This is the best time for project execution. Then we get into the luteal phase, and here our energy starts to dip as progesterone becomes more dominant. And this is the best time for introspection, slowing down, self-reflection, journaling, toning down the intensity of your workouts. But actually, it's the best time for working on muscle mass, building strength. It is the best time for really connecting back with your inner world. The luteal phase is also the time when most women experience PMS. And PMS, I'm going to have to speak about in a different reel, but PMS is really a symptom and a messenger from the body when we are living out of alignment with our body, out of alignment with our natural energy. PMS stands for provide me space. This means that we are needing space to breathe and reflect and just be and not have all this internal and external pressure put on us. So if you are someone that is experiencing PMS, see it as an opportunity from your body to come home to yourself, come back and tune in to the natural rhythms. PMS is a symptom of misalignment, of living out of alignment with your cycle, of not paying attention to the flow of energy in your body and the sacred messages of your womb. Then we get to the menstrual cycle, and this is the beginning and the ending. The menstrual cycle is a spiritual and emotional death and rebirth. It is about cutting off the outside world and going completely internal. It is about reflection and connection. During the menstrual cycle, the veil is non-existent. So we are so able to tap into divine energy. We are directly connected to source, to spirit, to goddess through our open crown chakra as we bleed from top to bottom. This downward apana flow, open crown chakra, open root chakra. And when we come into stillness with ourselves, we can allow for this flow of energy to move through us. And if we are silent and still and quiet and contemplative, that's when we can receive messages from spirits, messages from your body, divine ancestral wisdom that is buried in your DNA, messages from your womb. Cyclical living is the antidote to burnout, the antidote to hustle culture, the antidote to stressed out, burnt out, depressed women. When we can choose to live in harmony, we take back our power because we're not trying to compete with men and this capitalistic rat race drive. We are now tuned into ourselves and we realize that the only competition is with ourselves, and how can we be more connected, more in tune, more embodied than we previously were. Okay, many blessings. Reach out to me if you would like coaching and tips on how to live more in alignment with your menstrual cycle. Check out my website for ebooks on this matter, as well as the podcast.